What's up guys, welcome back. Brandon Dude here, new replay. Here we're going up against Maliss at Ignister, one of the new meta decks that also recently has gotten some support but also did get hit by the ban list. But the new support I got has pretty much made it quite good as well. New lines, new combos it has, but let's see how we do. 56 card build up against 40. So here we are going first. So you see in opening hands, we opened kind of crazy. We opened 3 Albion the Shrouded, a Brandon in red, and a Quem. This is a very strange hand. We open up with opponent though opens up with Wizard, Nibiru, Marche, Ash, and Impulse. So 3 hand traps in his hand, and he basically has a, I guess you could say a starter. Yeah, basically as a starter, there's the Marche, the Wizard, who knows what he draws into next. So we are going first here, so obviously we're going to have to go straight to main phase here. First we started with Albion the Shrouded. Here I decided to send Retribution. The main reason why is because we have Quem, hoping that when we normal summon Quem, it can just dump the Branded Fusion here. So that is why we send that. We joined the opening pretty good now because now we have access to Luba as well. But because I was a bit worried my opponent may have Imperm Veiler, I decided first let's start with normal summoning Quem, which resolves in Brand Fusion. Cool, that's a bonus for us. So now we're just going to add the Fusion to hand. And now here, obviously now there's no point activating opening and searching for Luba gets brand loss. I decided, you know what, if he has Ash, he has Ash. Good thing for us is though we do have brand in red. So if our opponent does, like, you know, for some reason have an Imperm Veiler and he wants to chain it to maybe like our Albaz fusion monsters or something, we can use brand red because there's a good chance we're going to have one of these Albions in the graveyard. So I decided to first go straight with brand of fusion because we're just getting that Ash Blossom or Impulse straight out of the way. Obviously I don't know what I was going up against, but now Ash Blossom, cool. Okay, I'm assuming maybe it might be Rajo. We then follow up with opening. It doesn't get hit with Impulse, so we just got the Albion, which now makes Brandon in red live. Luba here is going to search for high spirits because, yeah, we need something. We need a bit more plays now since Branded Fusion did get hit with Ash. So we send Albion the Branded, search for Cartesia because now we technically have an Albaz in the graveyard. We then go Quem effect. Now the reason why I'm going Quem here is because if Cartesia resolves, I kind of want to make use of more materials on my field as well. So I decided, you know, let's use Quem just to reborn Albion as a body for us. Then go Cartesia summon, doesn't get hit with Impulse. I guess it's because my opponent has Nibiru, so he can just, you know, let me fusion summon, do my thing, and he'll just drop the Nibiru. But, you know, now that Grand Gugno's here, if he drops the Nibiru, Grand Gugno will be able to give us a bit more plays over that. So going to Grand Gugno, I use a Luba. That's where we at least have a Despia name in the graveyard, you know, in case Albion sets Branded Banishment. Grand Gugno here, I decided to send Serenia. I could have sent Titanic Clad, but I decided, you know what, we have Grand Gugno to hopefully special summon Quem, or obviously other Despia monsters from the extra deck, but Quem from the main deck, you know, if something happens now. So I decided, let me send Serenia because I want to set up Blissful Rebellion because we technically have a Dark level 8 dragon. Here, however, my opponent is going to drop the Nibiru here. Totally fine, we don't bother chaining Branded Red. I decided, you know, let's save it as play for next turn. So we get hit with Nibiru. This obviously triggers Grand Gugno. I decided to use Grand Gugno here. Opponent does not chain the Impulse here, but with Grand Gugno, I decided to summon the second copy of Quem. I don't bother going for Quiritus or Proskinion. I decided, you know what, we need Quem to hopefully just, you know, reborn either maybe Cartesia if it's still there or anything else, you know, just to try and make advantage of or make use of that because there's no point summoning those fusions right now. We set Brandon in red, go to end phase. Albion here is going to set Branded Banishment, so I decided to add Cartesia to hand just as a discard fodder. And also if you try to go for Chimera, maybe we have more materials in hand if we want to draw more cards than pop. But yeah, so Quem here right now cannot summon anything useful except Albion the Branded. So essentially if Quem can summon something, we'll summon Albion, and then with banishment most probably we can just target their Luba, and most probably we can try super poly the board. Essentially I am playing, yeah, there is Proskinion, we can possibly go into Quiritus, and yeah, I guess we don't have that many. Obviously with this on the field, this technically becomes Albaz, so yeah, hopefully Branded Red and Banishment can resolve here, one of the two, but our opponent does have the Impulse. Past turn, opponent draws into a second copy of Marche. Now here my opponent first begins with normal summoning Marche. Here I decide not to do anything, but unfortunately here my opponent does end up linking off into Lingaribo, which technically now is the negate for our trap card. So yeah, this was a bit rough. I kind of forgot that, you know, Maliss players are playing this now. So yeah, to anyone who's playing branded, if you go up against Maliss and you have banishment, do be careful of this card. This card is now currently being played in format. This can negate your trap card. So yeah, unfortunately this puts a bit of pressure on us. So I decided to go branded in red, and we get punished here because now our opponent does have impulse. So branded banishment is also just not going to be able to resolve here. So opponent goes off with wizard. Fortunately, we don't have bestial to stop this from resolving, because I believe it says here target one dark, special summon both this card. Yeah, so if we had a bestial and we could banish this, we could essentially just nullify this effect completely, I believe. So unfortunately, he gets extra bodies on the field, goes into red ransom. Now here, yeah, he's literally going to be able to go full combo. I don't bother using Quem because honestly this trap card is absolutely dead, and I was just contemplating, okay, obviously he's going to be able to summon more monsters from the extra deck, so we can get to chance to use this later on. But with this, I decided, you know, he's going to go full combo. If he goes into White Binder, sure, White Binder can be challenge 1, but he can just essentially banish Fusion, Red, I guess, whichever other card there, and he will be able, I think, yeah, he'll be able to destroy our board quite a bit, but he will be able to set up quite a big board with a good number of interruptions, and I guess you could say follow-up for us. So I decided, you know what, I'm not going to sit through this, so I do end up just passing. Yeah, I do end up just going straight to game 2. Honestly, the fact that I forgot about Linkuribo is just unfortunate. So yeah, do remember that if you're going up against Maliss, they play Impulse and they have Linkuribo there, which can deal with any of your trap cards that's special summon. So we go to game number 2. We open Fusion, Super Poly, Lost, Quem, and Thrust. Pretty good hand. This is pretty good. Opponent opens Drusua, Marche, Kobai, Ash, and another copy of Marche. So obviously for us, we're going to normal summon Quem, see if there's an Imperm or Veil or something. Nothing there, so we send Albas because in case Brand Fusion gets negated, Quem has a good target to reborn. Activate Last Fusion, which gets hit with Ash Blossom, and then straight up we're going to follow up with Thrust, set Duplication, we set Super Poly, because if we activate this trap, we will get a card to add to hand off Lost, so Super Poly can still be live during our opponent's turn. Opponent draws for turn, he draws into Imperm, which is, yeah, a pretty good draw for him. Doesn't use it yet, but main phase he's going to first start off with normal summon March. And now, here I realized, okay, we learned our lesson here. So we're going to activate Duplication right now. Target Brand Fusion, and now we fusion away Alvaz and Cortesia. Going to Albion, Chainlink 1, Albion, Chainlink 2, Lost, and obviously Chainlink 3. Quem, with Quem we target Cortesia. Our opponent here doesn't chain Kobai. I don't know why he doesn't chain Kobai. He could have actually, because he is allowed to respond to you, because this trap card doesn't include an effect to fusion summon, just an effect to copy, so Lost is not preventing it, but he doesn't use Kobai. Cool, this is a bonus for us summoning Cortesia. Search for Mercuria. Here's the thing, there is a good chance, because I was trying to save the a card in our hand for Super Poly to be live. I was thinking here, okay, if I decide to fusion summon, I could banish Albaz and Mercuria, go into Rinbrim, so that way we have a card to deal with an extra deck and also ultimately a bounce, and Mercuria can trigger to get another search. Most probably there I'll search for maybe Albion the Shrouded, but I decided here when I was fusion summoning, I'm actually going to go straight for Chaos, banishing both Albaz, get rid of this body on the field. And now, yeah, we pop, because the thing is, if this Marche gets banished, it's not going to add it's not going to special summon onto field, it's just going to add itself to hand. So I decided, you know what, cool, let's just banish this. Let's destroy this. If it gets banished, it's not really going to summon itself back onto the field. On resolution though, we activate Cortesia, which our opponent could have responded with Imperm, but he doesn't. So here we fuse away our dragons to go into Lad, because yeah, Cortesia can summon a level 8 or higher. This is level 10. This is a dark, that's a light, cool. Now here it's good he didn't use Imperm, because now he has a way to out the light and dark Dragon Lord. So he activates Jerusalem, which obviously triggers Lad, and our opponent will go chaining 3 Imperm, taking care of Lad. So summon Jerusalem, March here triggers to add itself to hand. Obviously this would just be a mandatory trigger of Lad. Then here, now here's the thing, opponent, he has a normal, wait, did he normal summon? Yeah, he did normal summon. He then activates Marche, basically banishing itself to special summon a... What can you do? You can banish this special summon... Oh, special summon this card, yeah. Special summon this card, but 2 bodies, so he ends up scooping there because he only has Koba in his hand, no further plays. So yeah, nothing there for him to do. So we go to game number 3. Game number 3, we are going second. So our opponent opens 2 marches, 1 chessie, a draw. Actually 3 marches. That is crazy, but luckily for him we don't play any hand traps, so honestly he is just fine. But he does have draw there. Opponent, we open Adlib, High Spirits, Aluba, Thrust, Aluba. So yeah, we just have Aluba. Thrust is kind of dead. High Spirits is dead. Thrust can be live if our opponent activates something. But yeah, this is not like a crazy hand, but let's see how we do. So, no some chessie, banish Marche to draw into Solemn as well as Dormouse. Marche triggers, add itself to back. And then here I believe he will link off into Linker Reroll. Then activates Marche, banishing itself to some, banish Dormouse, summon Marche, Dormouse trigger. And then he's going to use Dormouse effect to banish White Rabbits, which obviously summon and then set a trap. I think he goes for GWC. Yeah, GWC, links off into Red Ransom, gets the field spell. And then he's going to link off, go into Splash Mage, Reborn Dormouse, go into White Binder, banish Red Ransom Dormouse, trigger Red Ransom. And then banish Chessie Cat, which will trigger. And now he's going to go White Binder to set the MTPO7, link off into Cyber's Wicked, summon this, trigger this to add backup, and then White Binder will trigger, summon itself, and then draw a card, draws into White Rabbit, backup. Now he's going to search for Wizard, and now he discards the Marche of backup, links off, go into Firewall, Wizard, boom, put extra bodies, and then here finally goes off into the Allied Code Talker, which will reborn the Red Ransom as well as the Maliss White Binder. So now here basically he has an Omni Negate. He also has Firewall, which can bounce 1 to 3 cards right now. So currently sets the Solemn Strike. Yep, sets the Solemn Strike, and he will proceed to pass his turn. So he has enough follow up there. Also has Draw, Solemn, MTP, GWC, White Binder, which can banish 3, get him a draw, join maybe into a hand trap. Omni Negate, bounce 3 from field or grave, and yeah, Red Ransom just manipulates the attack and defense of our monsters. Anything engraved? Nope, nothing engraved. So yeah, this is the board we're gonna have to play into. So he passes turn, and yeah, I was just asking what cards he had in his hand, and we draw for turn. We draw Albaz. So finally High Spirits is live. So in draw phase I decide first to go High Spirits. Obviously we're trying to play around draw. Luckily we did this in draw phase, because if we did this in draw phase, main phase, before normal summoning Aluba to search, being dropped to draw would have hurt us there tremendously. So search for Albion the Shrouded. We go Albion the Shrouded, send Retribution here, and we join to opening. Our opponent, for some reason he doesn't drop the draw. I don't know why he doesn't drop the draw, but yeah, moving on. Opening, discard Adlib to summon Quem, and then Quem here will trigger, hopefully to fully spare out the Brand Fusion. But instead I go for Branded in White, because I'm trying to play sort of like avoid Ash Blossom at the moment. So Retribution now, add Brandon in White, and also we're trying to make Thrust live, so I need my opponent to negate something here. We activate Brandon White, which gets negated by Allied Code Talker. Perfect. It ends up being banished off Allied Code Talker. We then normal summon a Luga, effect here to search. Opponent hits us with Solemn Strike. So I guess my opponent didn't drop draw, because I guess he kind of wants to draw cards himself of White Binder, maybe also wants the trap card. I think he wants the trap card to be live as well. So yeah, I think that's why he didn't drop draw. So yeah, perfectly, I guess that's understandable now. So now after some strike we hit him with Thrust, search for Branded Fusion, and here I'm hoping he doesn't have Ash Blossom, and he doesn't, so he hits us with a Chain Link to GWC. So now we can't go into Albion, we have to go into Rebellion. So with this, we decide to send Albaz and Mercuria. We don't send Tragedy because we already normal summons, so we're not going to get anything out of it. But with this, I decide we send in Mercuria because now we're going to go Chainlink 1 Rebellion. Chainlink 2 will be Quem, where we're going to target the Mercuria to reborn. And then obviously Chainlink 3 will be White Binder. But with White Binder, my opponent then decides to target Branded Fusion, High Spirit, and Mercuria. He targets Mercuria, which is, I guess, fine, because now you can trigger it, get a search. Totally fine. Shuffle back an Albaz and a Rebellion, because I was thinking of going to Albion, then Albion maybe banish an Albaz and a Dragon, going to Chaos Star Source, pop the field. But I was like, nope, let's just bring our bad boy on straight onto the field. So yeah, we're going to summon Merjade, and then on race we're going to trigger Mercuria. With Mercuria we are going to search Cartesia. So honestly our opponent banishing Mercuria actually was beneficial for us, because now we have an Albaz in the graveyard. We then go Cartesia to summon herself. Here my opponent goes MTPO7, where he's basically going to banish a card. So we're going to chain Merjade now, just make use of its effect. We banished the Firewall Dragon. It was funny how my opponent didn't actually decide to use this. I don't know why. This bounces, you can return them to hand. So yeah, I don't know why he didn't use Firewall Dragon just to bounce our fusion, I guess, and anything else, and also maybe something in the grave back to hand. But anyways, we banish the Firewall, get rid of that, and then MTP banishes Mirror Jade. On res, Mirror Jade here will trigger to blow up the field. We then go Cartesia effect here, and we're going to fusion summon into Quiritus because we want to deal some damage, because I did side in Masquerade here, and so yeah, we will have a way to summon Masquerade, so we want to deal as much damage as possible, so Masquerade can be such huge pressure on the Maliss player. Into battle phase, attack allied Code Talker, taking 2500 damage to his face. Go to end phase. First I decide to resolve Mirror Jade in case he had a Bestial, and he said, oh well, actually it's kind of stupid, he would have used a Bestial earlier, but yeah, I decided just to use Mirror Jade first because we're not going to summon Albaz. Yeah, there's no way we can do anything, so we use Titan, set branded in red, and then with Titan Clad. Now here's the thing, because I was going second in game number 3, I sided out one of my Quems, so Titan Clad can't summon a Quem, so we're just going to add Albaz to hand. And that is pretty much, oh yeah, and Cartesia will add itself to hand, nothing else will follow, yeah. But yeah, we have branded in red, which can target Adlib, and then Adlib will definitely reborn the Mirror Jade unless our opponent has impulse to deal with that. Opponent draws for turn, it draws into Maliss and Underground. We don't use branded in red early because I was afraid he might have an Imperm in his hand, so we want him to put a card on the field, so that's where Imperm can't negate Masquerade. Enters main phase, and main phase he is going to start off with the field spell. To this we are going to chain branded in red here. I was thinking of first maybe going into Guardian Chimera, but I decided, you know what, I can't get rid of this. This is going to potentially help us a little bit, so I decided, okay, no Chimera, we're just going to go straight for Masquerade. So we banish Adlib and Cartesia. We don't banish the Albaz because we already want Albaz into grave. You know, Whitebinder is an issue to deal with, so we want to make sure we have access to an Albaz. Going to Masquerade. Now here, Chainlink 1 Red Ransom, Chainlink 2 will be Adlib to reborn Mirror Jade, but now my opponent is taking 1500 damage here, which is going to be left with 1800. So yeah, Masquerade, yeah, and you can see that he does end up scooping here because yeah, Masquerade is putting too much pressure, because once Mirror Jade hits the field, essentially the ways he can only deal with this is Red Ransom hits the field, even if the Red Ransom does switch to attack and defense, so even if he attempts to enter battle phase, we just go Quiritus, and then after that he's only out there is just to do normal summon a monster, link off, go into Despia, but I don't know, does this lock him into Cybers? No, I don't think so. So yeah, if he's playing SP, maybe he can go into that, but I guess even if let's say he is playing SP banish this, he's going to take another 600 damage there, and then he's going to be left with, how much is that, 1200. So then with that, yeah, he can't really do much because now MTV, which one gives him life points? Yeah, GWC. These link monsters he's going to have to take 900, these ones are 300, so yeah, literally it's like only 2 effects he can activate there technically, so he's not going to be able to do much there. But yeah, good for us for putting the Masquerade there. Luckily I didn't forget to side this in, but yeah, Masquerade helping us clutch the win there. And yeah guys, that was the duel, hope you enjoyed it. Also one thing I want to mention here is in this game number 3, actually I literally sided in, okay, I kept Fuolos in, obviously I took out Perulia, kept in Mochami Mules, I took out a couple of cards, put Lancia, I also kept a Lightning Storm, so I basically had 3, 6, 9, 7, 8, yeah, maybe 8 cards that I was hoping to draw to, like, you know, deal with Maliss, and we didn't see a single one, but we just relied on our branded spells and traps and also thrust there to, yeah, clutch the win here. So yeah, that was pretty insane. Opponent had enough, obviously, draw. If he did actually use draw, we would have been a little bit cooked there. We would have been quite cooked there, but he didn't want to use draw because he needed MTP or 7 to be live. And yeah, unfortunately, yeah, that luckily for us, our opponent did not use draw there. But yeah guys, that was it. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please do like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers guys.